Hello students, welcome to Supergrads. Today I'm going to discuss few questions based on coordinate geometry. As you know, in CAT, coordinate geometry is also part of CAT syllabus, but in recent years there has not been much coordinate geometry questions. But in XAT, coordinate geometry is still popular, and you can find at least one question every year. So if we talk about coordinate geometry, what do we need? So we need basic concept of, you can say, geometry, like properties of triangles, properties of circles, properties of quadrilaterals, parallelogram, square, rectangles, all those. Apart from that, we need to know a basic formula of coordinate geometry, like how to find distance between 2 points, how to find the equation of a line which is going through two particular points, how to find slope of a line, or how to find equation of a circle if center has been given, radius has been given, like those. So if you are not aware of those, I will ask you guys to get a basic view of these concepts. Okay. Now I'm going straight away to the questions. I might take one more session based on formulae and basic concept of coordinate geometry. If you ask and if you are required to do that, let me know in the comments. Okay. Now, first question. So you can read it and try to solve it. It says determine the values of A for which the point AA square lies inside the triangle formally by lines 2x plus 3y is equal to 1, x plus 2y is equal to 3, 5x minus 6y is equal to 1. So what we need to do here, we need to draw these three lines. We can try drawing these three lines like this. Okay, this is our x-axis, this is y-axis, this is our origin 0, 0. Now, if you want to draw the first line, what do you do? If I put y is equal to 0, x will become 1 by 2. So this is our 1 by 2. Let's say this point is 1 by 2. If I put x is equal to 0, y will become 1 by 3. This is our 1 by 3. So we can draw a line passing through this point, these 2 points. And this line is basically 2x plus 3y is equal to 1. Now let's draw the next line. It says x plus 2y is equal to 3. If I put y is equal to 0, x will be equal to 3. Let's take 3 here. And if I put x is equal to 0, y will be 3 by 2. So let's take 3 by 2 here. Now again, joining these 2 points, we get the second line like this. Equation of this line is x plus 2y is equal to 3. Now it says 5x minus 6y is equal to 1, 5x minus 6y is equal to 1. How do we draw that? If I put y is equal to 0, x will become 1 by 5. So somewhere here, x will become 1 by 5. If I put x is equal to 0, y will become minus 1 by 6. So somewhere this, let's draw this line. This line is 5x minus 6y is equal to 1. Now in the question, it says that determine the value of A for which the point is lies inside this triangle. So we can say this point somewhere here. Coordinate of this point is x coordinate is A and y coordinate is A square. How do we find this? So you can see that this triangle made by these three lines, this triangle, the point should come inside this triangle. So we can say that if we consider the first line 2x plus 3y is equal to 1, this point must be on this side, right? On this side of this 2x plus 3y is equal to 1. If I take any point on this line, any point on this line, and put the x and y value here, we get 1. But what if I take any point this side or this side? What will happen then? For example, let's say if I take a point here, okay, this point is 1, 0. What will happen in that case? 1, 0. This will give us 2. So it will be more than 1. Similarly, I can take 2, 0, or I can take, let's say, 1, 0, 1. So in all the cases, the value of 2x plus 3y will be greater than 1. So can we say if I put a square in 2x plus 3y, it must be greater than 1. Okay, so you can remember this, like slope of this line is more than 90 degrees. Slope is nothing but tan theta, and tan theta of this line is more than 90 degree, an obtuse angle. So slope will be negative. So whenever you go negative side of x-axis of this line, negative side of this x-axis, you will get lesser value, less than 1. If you go positive side, you will get greater value. And this is what we can follow. So if I put a square here, we are going to get values more than 1. So let's put it here. First, I can say 2a plus 3a square should be greater than 1, right? Or 3a square plus 2a minus 1 should be greater than 1. This can be written as 3a square plus 3a minus a minus 1 greater than 0, or we can take 3a common, a plus 1 minus 1, a plus 1 greater than 0. What do we get? We are getting a plus 1, 3a minus 1 greater than 0. So what are the critical points? If I say this should be greater than 0, then a must be less than minus 1, or a must be greater than 1 by 3. So if I draw this on a number line, what do we get? So any number line, a should be great. So let's draw it somewhere. Okay, let's draw this line. This denotes a. Okay, we have 2 points, a minus 1 and 1 by 3. So we are getting this range for a for this one line. Okay. Now, second case, if I put a square here, what will happen? So again, slope is negative here. So again, this a square is on the negative side. On the negative side, so we are, if you put any value of a square here, we are getting values which are less than 3, because we are going negative side, negative x part of this line. Slope is negative. So in that case, what will happen if I put a square here? So a plus 2a square should be less than 3, right? A plus 2a square should be less than 3 here, and we can write it as 2a square plus a minus 3 should be less than 0, or this we can take common a, or we can first break it. We will break it as 2a square plus 2a. This should be 6, right? So we can break it into 3a minus 2a. 3a minus 2a minus 3 is less than 0. Take a common, we are getting 2a plus 3. Take minus 1 common, 2a plus 3. This should be less than 0. Or take 2a plus 3 common, we get a minus 1 less than 0. If this is less than 0, that means a lies between these two values, means a lies between minus 3 by 2 and 1. So again, minus 3 by 2 and 1. Minus 3 by 2 will be somewhere here, and 1 will be somewhere here. So for this line, a should be here. Okay, you can see the common parts. If there are only 2 lines, we will take this common. Now there is third line left. In the third line, it's 5x minus 6y is equal to 1. Now again, just to make you understand, what will happen if I take any point after this, like on the positive side of x-axis, if you are going, what will happen? X will increase and y will keep decreasing. X will increase, y will keep decreasing. So we are getting value greater than 1. At this point or at any point on this line, we are getting 5x minus 6y is equal to 1. But if I take a point here, what will happen? X will be bigger, y will be same. Overall, this value will be greater than 1, right? Overall, this value will be greater than 1. So where is this point? In this side, we are getting lesser than 1. A square is on negative side. So we are getting less value. So in that case, we can say if I put the values here, 5a minus 6a square should be less than 1. Or we can write this as 6a square minus 5a plus 1 should be less than 0. Now this we can break 6a square minus 3a minus 2a plus 1 should be less than 0. This can be written as, let's take 3a common. So 3a minus 1 and 2a minus 1 is less than 0. Again, this can happen. Critical points are 1 by 3 and 1 by 2. So a will lie between 1 by 3 to 1 by 2. Now, where do we get that? 1 by 3 is here. Where do we take 1 by 2? So 1 by 2 will be somewhere here, right? So in that case, if I want to take the ranges of a here, so a should, this should be greater than this side we get less than 1, right? Okay, this sign we need to change as we have got in here. This sign will be greater than, small silly mistake. This sign would be greater than 0 because we are taking everything on the right side. So what will happen here is a should be, this is greater. So a should be less than 1 by 3 or a should be greater than 1 by 2. Now we have 1 by 3, 1 by 2. So the third line will be greater than 1 by 2 or will be less than 1 by 3. So where are we getting the common parts? If you can see, we are getting our common parts here and we are getting our common area here. What are those area? So the reason for A is when A is between minus 3 by 2 to minus 1, minus 3 by 2 to minus 1, and 1 by 2 to 1, 1 by 2 to 1 by 2 to 1, this one. So our correct answer is option C. Definitely a lengthy question. At first, you can avoid this question, but in that, you will find coordinate geometry questions, sometimes lengthy questions. So if you have time, you must attempt these type of questions. Yes, it's time taken, but if your concept is clear, you can definitely solve them. Next question, it says two diagonals of a parallelogram intersect each other at coordinates 17.5, 23.5. Two adjacent points of the parallelogram are given. Find the lengths of the diagonal. So first I'm going to draw a parallelogram. What are the properties that we are aware of parallelogram? One of them is opposite sides are parallel and equal. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. Another property is that diagonals bisect each other. Their diagonals bisect each other like this. Okay. Now it says that coordinate of this point has been given. Coordinate of this intersection point is 17.5 and 23.5. Also, two adjacent points has been given. We can take those two adjacent points as these two or these two or these two or these two, doesn't matter. So let's say this point is 5.5 and 7.5, and then comes 13.5 and 16. What we need to find? We need to find the lengths of the diagonals. So if required, we can find these two coordinates also. We can find the area of this parallelogram also, but we don't require that. Why? Because we need to find the length of the diagonals only. Now we know that this point A, B, C, D, and let's say this is O. OA can be found out. Can we say OA will be equal to, using distance formula, 17.5 minus 13.5, 4 square, plus 23.5 minus 16, which is 7.5 whole square. This will give us, this is nothing but 16. 7 into 8 is 56. So this is 56.25, which will give us, this is 72.25. 72 is 8 into 9. So this will become 8.5. So OA is 8.5. We can find AC. What is AC? AC will be just double of OA, which is equal to 2 into 8.5. So this is 17. Now, next we can find the length of OD. What will be the length of OD? Again, using distance formula. 17.5 minus 5.5, this will be 12 square, plus 23.5 minus 7.5 is 16 square. 4 into 3, 4 into 4, this will become 144 plus 256, 400. This is 20. If OD is 20, AC will be equal to double of this, which is 2 into 20. That makes it 40. So what's our answer? Answer is option D. So you can see that it becomes very easy to solve coordinate problems if geometry, basic of geometry is clear to you. Next question is another very good question. It says let A1, A2, A and B the endpoints on the straight line y is equal to px plus q. So these are the different points which are on a line. The coordinates of AK is xk, yk, where k is equal to 1, 2, and such that x1, x2 are in arithmetic progression. The coordinates of A2 is 2, minus 2, and A24 is 68, 31. So what we can say first, what we need to find the y coordinates of 8, the number of points satisfying the above mentioned characteristic and not in the first quadrant. We also need to find that not in the first quadrant. Let's see what we can do here. Before we move to this line equation is y is equal to px plus q. Y is equal to px plus q, or we can also say px minus y is equal to minus q. Now, during integral solution in linear algebra, you must have learned that whenever you take different values, let's say integral values of x and y, so they always change with respect to their coefficient. Like the value of x will change with respect to coefficient of y, and the value of y will change with respect to coefficient of x. So in that case, can we say if x is changing in AP, y will also change in AP? So basically, all the coordinates of A1, A2, AN are in AP. X coordinate has been given in AP, but we can definitely say that y coordinates will also be in AP. Now, what we can say, A2 is 2. So if A1 is, let's say, something A, A1 and B1, okay. So A2 will become A1 plus D1, and this will become B1 plus D2 because they are in AP. And similarly, A24 will become, this will become A1 plus 23D1, and the y coordinate will be, this one will be B1 plus 23D2, right? Can we find the value? Yes, definitely we can find the value. 268. In this case, 2 and 68. If you subtract this minus this, we get 22D1 is equal to 68 minus 2, which is equal to 66. Or we can say D1 is equal to 3. If D1 is equal to 3, you can find A1 also. So A1 plus D1 is equal to 2. We can say A1 is equal to minus 1. Now again 22D2, the y coordinate. 22D2 is equal to 31 plus 2, which is equal to 33. So D1 will become 1.5. If D1 is 1.5, we can find out the value of A, which will be equal to what? Which will be, I guess, minus 3.5. So A2 will become, not A2, B1. B1 will become minus 3.5. What we need to do is we need to find the y coordinate of A8. What will be our A8? A8 will be equal to the x coordinate will be A1 plus 7D1. Y coordinate will be B1 plus 7D2. This. Now we already know A1 plus D1 is 2. This is 2 and this is minus 2. So what we need to add here 60. We can just ignore the value of A1 and B1. I have just found those values that if required you can find those also, but that is not required here. So A1 plus D1 is 2. We need to add 6D1 and D1 is 3. So 18 plus 2, this will become 20, right? And what is the y coordinate? B1 plus D2 is equal to minus 2. We need to add 6D1, 6D2. This will become, this is, so this will become 15 into 6 is 9. So minus 2 plus 9, this will become 7. So what's our answer? The y coordinate of A8 is nothing but 7. Okay. We also got x coordinate, which is not required. Now it says the number of points satisfying the above mentioned characteristics not in the first quadrant is R. Not in the first quadrant. What does that mean? See, the x coordinate of each is starting with minus 1, but next term become 2, then 5, then 8. So all the x coordinate is positive except A1. In case of B1, the y coordinate of each of these points, what we can say, first, it started with minus 3.5 for A1, then it will be minus 2, then it will be minus 0.5, then it will become 1. So this one, this one, this one. X coordinate is negative here also. Now it will be positive. But as y coordinate is negative, in these 3 points, there are 3 points we can say who won't be lying in the first quadrant. After this, x coordinate will be positive, y coordinate will be positive, and so on. So all the point uh, A4 and onwards will be in the first quadrant, but A1, A2, A3 will be in other quadrant, not in the first quadrant. So how many points are there? 3. Option C is correct. I hope this is clear. Now let's move on to the next question. This one. It says given 5 points, A is equal to 7, 4, B is equal to minus 10, 0, C is equal to minus 10, 3, D is equal to 0, 10, E is equal to 7, 7. Now, every second, all the points move by halving their abscisses and doubling their ordinates. So this is known as x coordinate. This is nothing but x coordinate. And this is nothing but y coordinate. Basically, these are horizontal and vertical coordinate, which is also known as x and y coordinate. Okay, this process continues for 500 years. After 500 years, which 2 points are closest? So if we talk about A, let's say what is happening with A. X coordinate is 7, y coordinate is 4. This is becoming 7 by 2, then 7 by 4, then 7 by 8, and so on. So in 500 years, how many seconds will be there? 500 years means 500 into 365 days, into 24 hours, into 60 minutes, into 60 seconds. So kind of a very, very big value. And in that time, if you are keep dividing this by 2, this will become approx 0, right? But the y coordinate will keep increasing. 8, then 16, then 32. So this will be also a very big number. So what is happening here? Can we say in case of B, C, D, E, the x coordinate of each of these will be close to 0 or nearly 0. But the y coordinate will keep doubling. and it will go till like close to infinity. But even then, if we are talking about the y coordinates, let's start with A. The y coordinate of A is 4, the y coordinate of B is 0, and for C it's 3, for D it's 10, and for E it's 7. So the y coordinate of these 5 points will keep increasing. This will remain same here. 0 into 2 is 0. But this will become 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. This will be 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. 7, 14, 28, and so on. So even after 500 years, can we say if all the values are getting doubled, the closest 2 points will remain what we had initially? The difference between the coordinates of A and C is only 1. The y coordinate is 1. These two are closest. So even if you double these values, just for example, 20, 14, 8, 6, 0. Which 2 points are closest? Of course, A and C are still closest after one such process. So even after 100 process or 1000 or infinite such process, these 2 points will be closest to each other. So what's our answer here? A and C. It was very easy to figure out that x coordinate of each of these points will become 0. We only need to consider the y coordinate. Next question, it says ABC is a triangle and the coordinates of A, B, and C are A, B minus C, A, B plus 4C, and minus 2A, 3C respectively, where A, B, and C are positive numbers. The area of triangle ABC. So it's given that A, B, C are positive numbers. At first, it looks like we can solve this hit and try, but that will become way hectic for you because you can see there is an option which said none of the above. So unless you get 3, 4, 5 hit and trial, you can take the values of ABC like 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, again, which will take a lots of time. And even then, if you are getting only one option correct out of A, B, C, D, still you are not sure that that option is correct for all the values of all the positive values of A, B, and C. So that's why this becomes a very nice question. And it's very difficult to put this on coordinate axis. But let's try. Is that so difficult? Let's say X and Y. Let's say, can we say as A, B, C, all of these are positive value, B plus 4C will definitely be greater than B minus 2C, right? And if I take A somewhere here, this point, A, coordinate of A is A, B minus, 1 second, A, B minus 2C. So x coordinate of B is same, which is A. So B will be just vertically up somewhere here. And the coordinate of B is A, B plus 4C, right? So we got the value of AB. The length of AB we can find out very easily. It will be nothing but the difference of the y coordinate. B minus 2C, B plus 4C. What's the difference? Can we say this length is very easily 6C, 4C. If you subtract the y coordinate, just for example, if this point is 1, 1 and this point is 1, 8, what is the length of this line? Straight away 7, right? Because x coordinate is same. So the length between these two lines, the length of this line segment will be 7. That's why we can say this. The length of AB will be 6C. Now, where we can put 2A minus 2A, 3C. If A is here, if this point is A, minus 2A will be somewhere here. Okay. 3C, where we can put 3C. So 3C could be anywhere on this line. 3C could be anywhere. It could be here, not here. It must be lesser than B plus 4C. but it could be here or here or here or here. Anywhere we can take 3C. So our triangle will become something like this or this or this, right? So ABC could be any of these triangle, any of these triangle. How do we find the area of ABC? How do we find? First, you can check the distance between these two is 6C. Okay, if this is B minus 2C, this is B plus 4C, the 3C doesn't matter wherever 3C. These two are parallel lines. And we know that if you take the base constant, base same, doesn't matter whatever triangle you are drawing, the area will always be same. The area of this, all of these triangle will be same because they have the same base and the height is always same. So this is what we need to do here, right? Can we find this length? Of course, we can find this length. This length will be a minus minus 2a. So this length is nothing but 3a. So what do we have? We got the base, we got the height. We don't need to find where is 3c, right? C point, but the coordinate of C point, y coordinate 3c, we don't need to find where that will be. Yes, we can find. I know if you want to find, let's say if this point is 8 and this point is 1, where do we find 4.5? I know 4.5 will be somewhere here, right? So in that case, this difference is 3.5, this difference is also 3.5. So this minus this by 2 will be in between. So if you check that 4C minus minus 2C becomes 6C by 2. So definitely just between this will be 3C. This will be C minus 2A and 3C. So yes, we can figure out where will be the coordinate. It will be just middle of this, but we don't require that as we know this concept, right? So what will be the area of this triangle? Now we have the base. Area will be equal to half of base, which is 6C, and height, which is 3A. So this is 3 times, we get 9AC. So option D is correct. So these questions are basic questions, not that basic, but I'm trying to solve it in different ways in between, not entirely different ways, but I try to discuss each point that where you can think differently. That there is not only one way, there is not linear way to solve a problem. Geometry and coordinate geometry, very interesting. Lots of concept. One question can be solved in multiple ways, but the process on each point, how do you think, is very important. Okay, so let's try the next question. It says the coordinates of P and Q are 0, 4 and A6 respectively. R is the midpoint of PQ. The perpendicular bisector of PQ cuts x-axis at point SB0 for how many integer values of A? B is an integer. Now, very beautiful question. We are going to use slope in this question. If you remember, in coordinate geometry, two perpendicular line, slope of this line is m1 and slope of this line is m2, then we can say m1 into m2 is equal to -1. M1 and M2 are nothing but slope. What is a slope? If this is an x-axis and this is a line, then angle made by this line. Okay. If this is theta, then tan theta is the slope. M. So these are the slope of these two lines. In perpendicular line, in parallel lines, slopes are equal. In perpendicular lines, slopes, product of slopes give us -1. Let's see this question. It says The coordinate of P and Q are 0, 4 and A6 respectively. This is P, this is Q. Coordinate of P is 0, 4. Coordinate of Q is A6. R is the midpoint of PQ. Let's put R here. Coordinate of R, what will be 0 plus A by 2? So this is A by 2. This will become 6 plus 4 by 2. So A by 2 and 5. Now it says the perpendicular bisector of PQ. Definitely that perpendicular bisect will bisect this line and perpendicular to this. So we are talking about this one. The perpendicular bisector of PQ, which will pass through R, cuts x-axis at point SB0. So let's say this line where this is cutting x-axis, this point is S. The coordinate of S is B0. It says how many integer value of A, B is an integer. So again, these two lines are perpendicular. We need to find value of B when A is integer. How many different values of B are possible? Let's see what we can do here. We can figure out the slope, right? We can figure out slope if there are two lines, let's say, given x and so how do we find there are 2 points x1 y1 and x2 y2. How do we find the slope of a line? Let's say this point is m, this point is n. So there are 2 points. A line must be going through this. How do we find the slope of that line? So m will be equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is how we find slope of a line. Can we find the slope of PQ? Yes, definitely we can find. Let's find it. Slope of PQ will be equal to A minus 0, not A, 6 minus 4 is 2. A minus 0 is A, right? So this will become 2 by A. Now, slope of another line, slope of line perpendicular to this, which is RS. So what will be the slope of this line? 5 minus 0 is 5. A by 2 minus B, which will become 10 divided by A minus 10. This is what we. Now, we know that product of slope of these two lines must be minus 1. So let's do that. 2 by A into 10 upon A minus 10 should be equal to minus 1. Or we can say, let's take it that side. This will become A square minus 10A is equal to 20. 1 second, where is B? So A by 2 minus B. This should be not 5, this is B. So this will become A by 2 minus B. So this will become A minus 2B. And this should be A minus 2B, right? So now we got this. Now we are getting this into this A square. So A square minus 2AB into minus 1 should be equal to 20, or we can write this as 2AB minus A square is equal to 20, or 2AB is equal to 20 minus plus A square, or we can say B will be equal to 20 plus A square divided by 2A, which we can break into 10 by A plus this will become A by 2. Next is for how many integer value of A, B will also be integer. So 10 by A plus A by 2. Now think on this. What values of A we can take so that this will become integer? Now think about this. This A by 2, if I put any real value of A, Okay, any real integer value of a 1, 2, 3, 4, or negative minus 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. This will be something like an integer or 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. Now, if a by 2 is an integer, 10 by a must also be an integer. What are the values that we can do? Integer, if I take a by 2 as an integer, a must be multiple of 2. So what are the value? And this is an integer, so a must be a multiple of a factor of 10. So in that case, we can take a is equal to, we can take 2, we can take 10, and if we consider negative value, minus 2, minus 10. These are the only values, factors of 10, 1, 2, 5, 10. To get a by 2 integer, a must be multiple of 2. Multiple of 2, which is a factor of 10, only 2 and 10. In negative, minus 2 and minus 10. These are the four values possible. Now, if a by 2, if a is odd, if a is odd, this will be something like 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, or in negative minus 0.5, minus 1.5 or something. So this must also be something like that. So 10 by a should also give us like just a mid value between integers. What are those values? Do you see any type of values where we get some odd divided by 2? I'm getting one thing in mind, like if I put a is equal to 4, this will become 5 by 2. Just for an example, this will become 2.5. But there is a problem. If I put 4 here, this will become integer. Rest, for no other values, for no other values of a, odd values, of course, you can put odd values 10 by 3, 10 by 5, 10 by 7. None of these values will give this whole as an integer. So how many values for A we are getting B as an integer? Exactly 4 values. Answer is option B. All right. So with that, we are done with this geometry session. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something that you can use in exam. If you have any kind of advice or if you want videos on any kind of topic or on formula revision, let me know in the comment. Like and subscribe. Thank you.